Hey, everybody, welcome to Italy. I am here with you for the third episode of the Love Language Kitchen. I am live on location in Italy, in Paranaldo, Italy, up in the mountains near the French border, and I am so happy to be here and happy to share this with you. Um, Today, what I published is that we are going to make a burrata salad with a twist. So the twist is very twisty. But I'm really happy to be here. Episode 3, we're talking about food, we're talking about love, we're talking about all those really important things. And the thing I want to talk to you about today while I'm preparing this amazing salad is, as some of you may know, I do couples cooking classes. I do a package of couples cooking classes, which is called Chef's Kiss. Yes, it is. And it's all about couples creating a date night in the privacy of their own home, something sexy, something intimate, something amazing. And I plan and do the recipes and do the lesson and everything for you, and you schedule it and do it on your own time. And I've heard people say, well, my husband and I don't cook well together, so that's off the table. And my response to this is that that's what this is all about, is teaching you how to work together in the kitchen, to function as a team. That's really very much the point of this connection, this couples activity, is so that you can connect and put those differences, whatever they are, aside and learn how to be with your partner in close surroundings, creating an activity, because this should not be something controversial, right? I'm a cordon bleu chef. I finished first in my class. I know how to cook. Do I need help? No, I do not. Do I want help? Absolutely. So at first, having somebody in the kitchen, and this includes my kids, I hate to say it, but when they were young, I was not great at having them with me in the kitchen. Although I taught them stuff for sure, but it was sort of uneasy for me because I didn't play well with those in the kitchen, even if it was my 3 kids who I love more than anything in the world. It was very hard for me to get used to it. And if I can get used to having somebody in the kitchen, so can you. So let's start the salad, get things going, and we'll talk about this as we go. Now, this is my kitchen, and it is, I swear, the world's smallest kitchen. I've got my cutting board here, which you can see on a counter. This is my delightful, we call this the magic box, it's a microwave. Range hood used to have the only light. I got a nice little light to stick under here because it's so dark in here, it's crazy, like there's not a lot of light. Right here, underneath the fan, is an induction burner, 1 burner. You can see the sink over here, it's my dishwashing area. And right here, I'll open the door so you can see, this is my little mini bar fridge. This is the extent of my kitchen. There is no oven. Oh, I bought a toaster recently, which is a great contribution because now I can make toast once I figured out how the darn toaster works. But this is my workshop, and today it's going to be super easy for you to see exactly what I'm doing because I can't do it anywhere else. And because it's a burrata salad, we're not cooking anything. So I've got my cutting board. The first thing I'm going to do with my cutting board, for those of you who have not seen me do this is an important tip. So this is a dishcloth, but this could very easily be some paper towel. I put that under my cutting board because that keeps it from moving, so that when I'm chopping, the thing's not moving. Because how often have you been chopping something, as you're chopping it, the cutting board's moving, and it's like, oh, I'm going to cut my fingers. So please put something down underneath your cutting board so that it's not slipping while you're cooking. I went to the market today. So here's the burrata with the twist story. I had this plan. There was a market here in the village. It's a tiny village, but if you want to Google it, it's Paranaldo, Italy, and it's so beautiful up here. But I was going to the market to get my supplies. I just arrived yesterday, slept really well last night, so I am not jet lagged today, which is great, but I needed my supplies. So I trundle off to the market. And there's one guy setting up a vegetable stand, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's, hasn't happened yet. In my experience in France, markets usually open at 8, but maybe Italy's different. So I mosey on down to the local bar to have a coffee. I'm learning to drink coffee. I don't drink coffee, but it seems very Italian to go to the bar in the morning and drink coffee. So I go down there, and my favorite waiter, Yvonne, who is Russian and lives in Italy and speaks perfect English, comes over, says hello, and I said, Yvonne, what's going on? Why? What's up with the market? I said, there's one guy there. Will there be more? And he said, no, when it's raining, people don't tend to go out. So I'm stuck with the one vendor, which was great. I got a lovely tomato, some lovely fresh garlic, a delightful onion, and because there's only the one vendor, I wanted to get some strawberries to put in my burrata salad, but I could not get any strawberries, so I am going to put an orange in instead. And because there were no cheese vendors, I couldn't get burrata. So today's burrata is fresh mozzarella. And it's going to be fabulous, don't get me wrong. And this recipe would be exactly the same whether you had burrata or a fresh mozzarella, whatever you have, it's all going to be good. The thing about cooking is that you need to be adaptable because not everything goes the way you plan, right? You have a dinner party planned and you're going to make the most luscious leek and potato soup, and you leave your shopping to the day of because you want everything to be fresh and delicious, and you get to the store and they have no leeks, and it's like, what am I going to do? You need to learn to adapt and improvise. And I can't teach you to improvise. I can teach you the mindset or encourage you to have the mindset that says everything is figurable, right? So if they don't have one thing, you adapt. So that's what I did with the burrata. I know that the fresh mozza is going to be beautiful in this salad, so we're going to do it with fresh mozza instead. And if we're talking about adapting and improvising, this is a good lesson for cooking with your partner. Because if one of you is a great cook and the other one is not, or one of you does the cooking and criticizes the other one anytime they try cooking, this is something you can figure out. You can improvise and adapt, right? Honey, I understand you normally do it this way, but how about we try and do it this way? Because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And when I'm doing my cooking classes and recording my videos, I very much encourage you all to understand this. Not one way is perfect. You know, if you have garlic, there's various ways to peel it. Some people say put the whole head of garlic in a pot with the lid, shake it up, and all the peelings come off. Great. Some people say squish it with a knife and the peelings crack and come off. Perfect. I used to have this little plastic tube that you would put the garlic in and roll it and the cover would come off. It was a gadget somebody gave me. It was somewhat useless, but I used it sometimes because, out of obligations in my drawer, if I'm going to hold on to it, I want to use it. There's different ways to do it. Chopping up the garlic. You can use a garlic press, which I love. You can squish it, chop it by hand, which is great. My son, funnily enough, he doesn't like to use a garlic press. He likes to chop it by hand. My little budding chef. I used to have this cool thing, which I gave him and he lost, but it was on wheels and you put the garlic in it and had like intermeshing knives and you'd roll it along and it would chop up the garlic. There's lots of different ways to do it. So if your partner criticizes the way you do things in the kitchen, this is a good opportunity to say, hey, we're going to do this. Let's work together. But please don't criticize me because I'm learning or I know what I'm doing and maybe it's different from the way you do it, but it doesn't mean that my way is wrong, right? It's an exercise in working together. And you hear about corporate retreats, right? Team building exercises. And that's what cooking together is. It's a team building exercise. You're learning to work together as a team so that you can have conversations about the bigger things because you've worked out this teamwork on a smaller scale. And if you don't have issues communicating and working as a team and just enjoy the sensuous situation, the activity of cooking, the taste, the smell, the scent, all of that, it's so exciting to do together. So enough. I'm going to start with the salad. So I have an onion, very nice onion that I got at the market. Oh, and do you like my grocery store knife? Okay, I'm going to go off on a tangent again. So I was looking around today. I haven't had this apartment for very long. I bought it fully furnished, and I was looking around for a mixing bowl. I didn't think I'd seen one, but I thought maybe I'd missed it. So I couldn't find a mixing bowl, so I have this slightly ugly salad bowl that I'm going to use to mix my ingredients. And I have these really pretty plates, kind of whatever. I prefer a white plate, especially for something like this, because it shows it off, but this is pretty, so we're going to use that. And I'm enjoying the kind of quirky ingredients. I'll show you. This is how my eggs came, wrapped in a little ribbon with a little note saying what farm they came from, which is a really nice way, I think, to get eggs. And I carry them like this. I don't touch my eggs because they're just wrapped in paper, but it's great. Okay, I digress again. So, because it's just me here, because my sweetheart is in Canada and I miss him already. I've been gone for a day. And I already miss him, but we've talked a bunch of times already. So I'm just going to cut the onion. What I normally do is I cut it in half, make it kind of in strips, and then I slice across the strips, and that gives me a nice chopped onion. This one's a little loosey-goosey because the top, I should have removed the top layer, but I did not. So I think I picked it up and I thought, oh, this feels like it's pretty good. So I'm not going to use all of this in my salad because that will be awful. I'm just going to take a little bit, maybe a couple tablespoons, right? 2 or 3 tablespoons. If it was for 2 of you, you want to use maybe 1/4 cup of this onion. And I will put the nice little dishes, the pasta dishes that are complementary to my plate. So let's put all of this in here, and I will use this for a nice pasta tomorrow. There we go. I'm going to put this aside on the drying rack because that's the only space I have. A nice little garlic clove. I'm going to squish it, and I'll be honest with you, I use a garlic press at home a lot. When you're cooking something, if you don't have your garlic really finely chopped, it will stay visible in the sauce. You know, like onions, they saute down and you can't really see them. Well, garlic stays like that if you use it too big in a sauce. I did not cut myself, but I was just thinking I'm getting too close and I don't. So, yeah, so I like to use a garlic press for some things, and I chop the garlic for other things. So with this one, I'm chopping. And again, you know what? I'm probably not going to use all of that. So I'll use about half of that clove. And the other half, I'm going to put right in with the onions since I'm going to use it for pasta tomorrow. Who ever heard of a pasta with no onions? No, sir. So when I was looking for my balsamic vinegar, or for my mixing bowl, don't ask why, I found a mezzaluna. So this is my entire kitchen. There's not much you can do. There's an induction burner, some pots, and a mezzaluna, which I thought was hilarious. It's not sharp, but whoever was cooking here before, and maybe a mezzaluna is something that every Italian kitchen has, and they wouldn't even consider life without a mezzaluna, but I just thought that was kind of funny to share. All right, let's slice some oranges. So I peeled the orange, and I'm just going to slice it. And, you know, strawberries would have been great, but they didn't have strawberries. And the orange will be beautiful in this salad. It will have just sort of a bright, tangy taste, and it will complement the tomatoes really well, bring a little more acid to it, because we're going to use balsamic vinegar, which of course is very mild. And citrus goes beautifully with olive oil as well. So I think that the orange as opposed to strawberry is going to be a beautiful flavor. And lots of orange in there because we're making this a healthy dinner, right? Right. Okay, there's the orange. Now the tomato. Garbage bowl. So, nope, it's not funny. Okay, perfect. I'm not going to use all of this tomato. I could, but I don't think I need to. So I'm just going to cut. Now, the aim for these recipes, by the way, on these classes is really to just do something that's quick and easy. And when I start having guests, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to keep the recipes short and sweet and something that you can do in 20 to 30 minutes. And this one, chances are won't even take me that long. So there we go. The tomatoes all chopped up nicely. Move the bowl over here a little bit closer because this one's going to be juicy. Back in the Oh, and I couldn't get any herbs. I, of course, would like to have had some fresh basil to put in this, but they also did not have herbs. So it was my first experience with the market here. And funny story, I'll tell you how I found out about the market. There's this lady who speaks English who lives in town. She's actually an American. And I was on the bus beside her coming up yesterday with all my luggage after flying in. And I said, does the bus go all the way to the top of the hill? Because there's a little bit of a road. And the last time I was on the bus, it dropped at the bottom of the hill. I had all this luggage because I'm going to be here for a month. And I'm thinking, how am I going to get up the hill with all my luggage? And I asked her, and she said, oh, yes, it does now. She said, it's only on Wednesdays that they don't go to the top because of the market. And I'm like, okay, good to know. So there's a market on Wednesday. She said, yes. And I said, okay, why did it not go up before? And she said, well, there's this whole issue with not being able to go past the bar because people would park all over the street and it was too narrow for the bus to get up. And then the driver got into a fight with somebody and took a bottle and smashed out his window. And I'm like, oh, good to know. So now they've settled the problem of the bus getting by and the market on all of that stuff. So yesterday was a Tuesday, it came up. But that's how I found out that the market is on Wednesday. I knew there was a market, but I didn't know what day it was. So now I am able to take advantage of the market, except when it's raining, and then there's no market. So the beat goes on. Adaptability, improvising. We do what we can, and you know what? It all turns out nicely. So here's my burrata / fresh matzah. If this was burrata, and for those of you who don't know what a burrata is, it's lovely. It's a fresh cheese, and it's like almost like a mozzarella like this on the outside. And it usually comes, it's in a little ball, and it looks like a sack because it's got a little sort of tied thing on the top. Think of a balloon that's been tied, right? Looks like that. And when you slice into it, the center is this beautiful, soft, kind of runny cheese, fresh cheese. So it all has sort of a mozzarella flavor, but it's this lovely, soft burrata cheese. So it's almost like a ricotta, only smooth on the inside and a fresh mozza on the outside. So I'm just going to slice this up. If it was burrata, we wouldn't slice it because that would mean it would all run out of the plate. But if you're sharing your meal with your loved one, which that's the whole idea, I want you to do that, then you don't want to cut into the burrata. But what you'll do is you'll share the plate. Teamwork, right? We're not getting cooties from each other. We do other things besides share a dish. So this is a great dish to share because you want to keep it whole. So I have my burrata, or my vegetable medley. I'm going to put some pepper, some fresh ground black pepper. I don't even feel like this is coming out. Oh, you got to turn it the wrong way. There we go. It's coming out now. Whew, okay. We've got some salt. Remember, please do not just shake the salt in because you have no idea how much goes in it. So that's way too much, see? What we really want is just a good pinch of salt, maybe an extra half a pinch, so that you know how much is going in. And then we're going to put balsamic vinegar. So another lesson in Italian shopping. So I bought this the last time I was here, thinking, okay, yeah, this looks good. It's like a classic aged balsamic, just what I want, right? And then I realized it has a spray. So we're going to spray some balsamic into my salad. Ooh, smells good. I've got some olive oil. Remember the stories I've told you and the things I've taught you about olive oil. Olive oil needs to be fresh. You need to be able to have a date. Don't worry about it in Italy, but in North America, I don't know how long that olive oil has been in your fridge or has been on the shelf in the grocery store. So, all right, so we've sprayed some balsamic. We've drizzled our olive oil. So if you want to know, you probably want about maybe 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar and 2 tablespoons of olive oil, depending on how good quality your olive oil is. If you have a beautiful olive oil that you've gotten from like a specialty olive oil store, be generous with that. It's so good for you and it's so delicious. So there we go. There's our vegetable medley. We're going to allow that to marinate. And look what I have. I got this beautiful little crusty bread. Oh, so nice. I'll have that with my salad. On my plate here, we are going to, this part is absolutely optional, but I'm going to put a little prosciutto crudo, which means just what we would call prosciutto at home, they call prosciutto crudo, because here prosciutto is ham, and prosciutto crudo is like the aged, dry aged prosciutto. So I'm going to put a little prosciutto on the plate, and you don't have to do this. You could absolutely put smoked salmon on the plate if you wanted to. You could put like, oh, it would be gorgeous with a very thinly shaved rare roast beef. That would be amazing. No oven, so that's not even an option for me. But, so that's my prosciutto crudo. And I was able to get some lovely lettuce from the market. Look at this beautiful little bit of lettuce. So I'm going to just tear this up, put it on top. So we've kind of got the prosciutto is making a base underneath the salad ingredients. Just one more. Again, this is going to be my healthy dinner. It feels so healthy. Fresh vegetables, beautiful market fresh vegetables, not vegetables that have been on a container, and traveled from some far-flung corner of the earth. This is actually just really nice fresh vegetables. So, all right. So we have our prosciutto, we have some lettuce, we have the bread at the ready. We're going to put our nice, beautiful orange, onion, garlic, and tomato mixture here. Let's see this. It's beautiful. And the mozzarella or the burrata, if you're fortunate enough to have burrata. We are making lemonade from our lemons. Just doing our own thing. Here we go. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is going to be a delicious, delicious salad. And I'm really excited about it. It will go very nicely with my glass of wine. And my beautiful bread. Just made fresh today. It's fantastic. And you know, I've got my balsamic and mozzarella in my salad, right? So I can just use the bread and sop up a little bit of it. Magnificent. So tell your sweetheart you want to make them something special. Make them this super simple, delicious salad filled with fresh ingredients and beautiful flavors that complement each other perfectly. And say, you know what, honey? I made this for you because I love you. and you mean something to me. I want to make you happy. I want to make things for you. I want to share this time together. Then you can sit down and eat it together. And remember, if you want to cook with your partner, if you want to have this amazing experience in the kitchen, it's the perfect time to put aside differences. Go into the kitchen with the intention of working together and having fun together and doing something fun, right? Connecting, talking, kiss here, a touch there, squeeze. And as I always say, clothing is optional. Just wear an apron in case things are going to splatter. But don't worry about the fact that you can't play with others in the kitchen, because I couldn't. And I learned to, because my relationship was important to me. Because I realized that this person who I love very much, he and I can put aside little disagreements and come together to work as a team in the kitchen. This is team building. Think corporate team building, right? You're learning to do this together so that you can do other things together even better. So that's it for today. I'm so glad you joined me. Really happy to have you here. Comment, message. I would love to hear from you. Follow me on Facebook. It's just Krista Melanson, KristaMelanson. I would love to hear from you there. And if you want to create these amazing and wonderful date nights at home together, then please sign up for Chef's Kiss. I'm going to give you the website. Click on it. There's different options there. I would love to have you. So the website is Krista, Krista, Krista-marie.com/Chef's Kiss. So that's KRISTA-MARIE.com/CHEFSKISS. All one word, Chef's Kiss. Until next time, until next Wednesday, I will see you in the kitchen, and let me know how your dish works out, because you'll have so much fun creating it. So I'm gonna come around here so that I can see, because I don't have my glasses on, and I will see you soon. Take care.